Welcome to today's tutorial. Today we want to look at the user interface of Autodesk Revit. I'm using the 2024 versions. Your version may be lower, but will still have similar interface. In this case, we have options here for us to start our project either from a new model template or to start from an existing Revit model file. Aside from that, we can also start a family from a new family template, or we open an existing family. Our projects that we have worked on so far will be displayed here on the recent models tabs. So when you click on this, you have options to view your recently worked on project. That includes both the models as well as the family as well. That's not all. We have options for you to look at your online projects. If you're signed in to Autodesk website, and then your list of projects will be accessed via these other tabs, while these other tabs helps you access your online saved insights. That's not all though. We have options for you to look at what's new on this version of the software, and also you can also help yourself with online support as to whatever tasks you wish to learn how to accomplish using Autodesk Revit. We also have a community forums where you can share with other users, and then also customer support is made available by just a click of mouse. In starting a new project, Autodesk Revit gives a couple of options of templates to choose from. When you click on the new project options, you're going to see a new project dialog box appearing, giving you rooms to choose whether to start from Imperial multidiscipline or from a metric multidiscipline. Of course, as a designer, you know Imperial has to do with measurements in feet in inches, while metric has to do with millimeters, meters, and so on. As a professional, you can browse other options here. We have to start with mechanical default, or if your case is to prioritize the electrical working templates, then there's also options here for you. But in the course of this, we are going to use the default. But bear it at the back of your mind that if you're using a multidiscipline, your project browser will be made of a combination of tabs that includes mechanical, electrical, and the architectural as well. But if you have a default one as your choice, you're going to start everything afresh, meaning you're going to have less tabs, and then it will give you room to customize your tabs as a designer. So for the course of these lessons, let's just start with the default one, and then we hit the OK button. Here we are presented with the Autodesk working environment. At this default, we are seeing that our drawing unit is on Imperial. So we have options to change it to metric if we want to use metric. You can use the hotkey UN, then your drawing unit setting or project unit setting will come out. But you can as well go to the Manage tabs and then go to the project unit setting and then influence whatever you wish to, such as the length. You can change it to millimeters or meters, and then you can round up to any decimal places, as well as if you wish to have symbols on your work as you're drawing. We shall take this in detail later. Of course, there's options for you to influence your area, whether you want to have it in square feet, square meters, or square millimeters, as the case may be. That is when you're working, what will the area indicator be? So that will set the pace for you to start your project. The Autodesk Revit organizes its interface in a way that makes your work, design, and modeling simple and at ease. Of course, it houses tools that will help you make your designs and model as well. So now let us look at what the environment is made of. First, we look at the program title bar. This places us to the name of the application as well as the document name. So in this case, we have Artificial Revit 2024 version, and the document or file name or project name is project 3. Of course, we also have options here that have recently used tools or familiar tools set aside for you to easily access them. This section is called the Quick Access Toolbar. So this houses familiar or frequently used commands or tools. Of course, you can influence what happened there. You can add, you can remove any tools from the Quick Access Toolbar. You can point to any tool on the ribbon, right-click it, and then add it to the Quick Access Toolbar. Let's say we want to add the Align tool. We point to it, we right-click, and choose Add to the Quick Access Toolbar. So you see it here is added. The same thing applies to the dimension or measure tools. If we want to add, we point, right-click, and add it to the Quick Access Toolbar. If the Quick Access Toolbar is much, it will collapse and also allow these other ones to be on the collapse section as well. Aside from that, we also have different tabs here. We have the architectural tabs, the structural tabs, and the steel tabs. Each of it houses tools that are available for you to do your design on your modeling in relation to your specific area of discipline or your field, as the case may be. We also have options to annotate here. That's annotation tab, view tab, modifying section, and so on. Of course, in talking about tab, if you select an object, the contextual tabs in relation to that object will appear here. Let's say I select a wall. There will be a contextual tab here that houses object-specific tools for me to work on that particular wall. Let's say I want to copy the wall, and then I also want to rotate the wall, as the case may be. The same applies with if I insert a door into the wall that I've drawn. You'll notice that when I select this, there will be contextual tabs also will be available for me. Aside from the contextual tab, if I select an object and I right click, I will have more command options that will help me modify or work on that particular object, as the case may be. Also, we have to take notice of the fact that each of the tabs, the icons on the ribbons of it are grouped into panels. So in this case, we have modify panel, create panel, view panel. As in the case of architectural tab, we have build, circulation, model. Likewise, in the structural tab, we have structure, connection, foundation, and reinforcement panel as well. Next, we also must take note of the fact that we have a section here called the Info Center. This Info Center houses command options that allows you to have information such as what's new about the product or what's new in the product, as well as Revit community, as well as essential video skills and privacy settings and license, as the case may be. There's also options for you to sign in to your Autodesk account. Aside from that, we also have this entire area here is called the drawing window. This is where your drawing, modeling, and design takes place. Of course, in working with that, you can always zoom in or zoom out by using your mouse wheel. If you screw your mouse wheel up, you'll be able to zoom in into an area closely. Of course, if you screw your mouse wheel down, you'll be able to zoom out. So take notice of that. In addition to that, we also have tabs here, file tabs. For easy understanding of the file tab, let us go to our home, the Revit home, and load a project. let's say class M. So now we have a new file tab. That's from a new project itself. Let's close this O1. And now if we go to this section called the project browser, this project browser houses the flow, the views, sheets, schedules, and families of a particular project. So let's say we want to go to the DPC view. We can double click on it and it will open. Also, we can always point to it, right click, and we're going to have options as relating to that particular view. We could choose to open, and we could choose to delete it, we could choose to rename it, and a couple of other options are available as well. So if we click on open, we are going to have it open. So now we have 3 windows in relation to this single project alone. But there's also options for us to have them all at the same time on our site, so we can view them all at once while working. So that's will bring in the option of tile. So tile will allow you to have 3 windows at your disposal while working. So if you click on an object on one, that selection will appear on all the object as well, on all the windows as well. The same thing applies to if you go to the window tab and as well as click on tab view again. So there will be one window appearing, and then you can as well switch through any of these views at the same time as well. Of course, you can click and hold and move or rearrange your file tab as the case may be. Here is the property palette. So say for instance I select a door in my project, and then the properties of that door will be displayed on the property palette. So also on this property palette, I have a section here called the type selector. So from the type selector, I can change any type of that particular family. Say I'm on the door family now, I could change another type of that door or another type of that family to use by a click of a mouse. So I can simply click on this window and then change the window type by a click using the type selector. Aside from that, you also take notice that when you select an object, you could have limited options here to influence as regards the property of such an object. But if you click on the edit type option, you're going to have more options for you to make twists to the size, shapes, or thickness, or anything regarding the property of that particular object as well. Next, we also want to look at the status bar. This is called the status bar. So when I hover my mouse through, you notice there will be a guide on the property, the status bar, telling me what to do. If I point on an object, it will also tell me what I have pointed to, the size of that as the case may be. It will tell me what I've pointed to, the size name, or the type name as the case may be. Also, we have this section called the view control bar. This allows you to make changes as regarding the display options. So you could choose to have hidden line, which is pure black and white, and then you could also have what we call the shaded color or the realistic view, which will be what your image or your project will look like when it is fully rendered. There's also other options such as texture and constant color as well, including wireframe, which will allow you to have a transparent view of your model, allowing you to see the line flows. So now let's head to the view tab and then click on the 3D view icon. So that will give us our project in 3D view. What we want to look at is the view cube. This is called the view cube. This helps you to view your drawings as related to any section or part of the drawings that you wish to. If you click and hold down the view cube and turn your mouse to either the right or left, you'll be able to pivot your way around your project as well. Of course, you can as well by a click view any of the elevation. Say I click on front elevations, of course that will help me have a clear view of my entire front view or front elevations We also have options wherein you can look at an isometric view of your project, as well as options for you to look at the top view of your project, as the case may be. Now let us look at selection in Autodesk Revit. In Autodesk Revit, you can select a project, an object, by just a click. You point to it and then you click. In Autodesk Revit, we have two kinds of selection: the solid window selection and the cross window selection. If you click a point and hold down your mouse, and then you drag your mouse to your left, objects that are within the imaginary box area that you have covered will be selected. In other words, for an object to be selected, it must be fully covered. If it is partially covered, it will not be selected. But in the case of cross window selection, if you select a point and then hold down your mouse and then move to your left, that will bring in cross window selection, meaning whichever object crosses that imaginary line that you have covered, such object will be selected. Whether it is fully covered or partially covered, such an object will be selected. So those are the two selections that we have in Autodesk Revit. Of course, you can hold down the control button and then you multi-select an object while holding down your control button as well. Of course, if you want to deselect, you can as well hold down the shift key and then you remove or deselect the object as. Thank you so much for your time. Please remember to share, like, and subscribe, and hit the notification button so you receive notifications as we will be updating series of lessons to make sure we give you the very best. Thank you once again and remain abundantly blessed.